I think it's time. Okay, 11:11. Good morning, everyone. Are you with others class or something like? So we just send some message on WeChat that she's coming. Okay, I'm waiting for everyone. So good morning, everyone. Is evaluations of midterm is should be like present for getting midterm evaluations. You get score today for 20%. And this is a group work, so I think like you have to prepare for your presentations well. I guess if you guys ready, open your camera so I can see your face, and then we'll start with the group number 1, body and art. Okay. Sorry. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Oh, everyone open camera. It's fresh, refreshing. Yes, good. Yay. Oh.
Cookie is coming, Ajahn.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. I'm not sure that others members all right or not. Like today, you will all present it as a midterm evaluations. So I'm waiting for other people. So maybe like it depends, right? If which group ready, you can present it first, I guess. Why are you smile like that? Like she's not ready. She looks not ready. Ready or not, just present it. Okay.
I think we miss a group. Miss like Jessie not here. Jessie is not here yet.
Okay, so maybe you
waiting
waiting for her. Maybe texting her like, "Wake up, wake up, wakey, wakey." I don't know. Well, it could be like one. Oh no, it could be at noon in China already. I think she probably woke up already, I guess. Okay. If which group ready, just tell me so you can hold your presentations. But yeah, before we jump into that, maybe I will remind you some of things that we have talked in the class. Okay. So this is assignment number 3. Like I give you all to analyze an art in everyday life, and I just providing for 3 topic of art. And I think like in the form of art, everything is could be art, right? Not just painting, not just sculpture, not just how to say like fine art or something. And art, it could be anything. But once we jump into the modern era, right, an art have to have a function. So the value of an art represent a functional in our everyday life. And most importantly thing is we use it. We use all of the products already in our everyday life, which is practice our thought, right? What's good, what's bad. Why do we have to brush our teeth? Why do we have iPhone? All of these things is practice ourselves, and then it lead us as the many people in the world thinking in the same pictures. And then that's why like the world that we live right now, we have to understand the timeline of development of those things to understand what's to become, what's next, right? So today you will like analyze something and then explain it as a timeline, and then try to predict what it could be for the future. This means like you decide for today. That's mean like you're thinking of tomorrow. Okay. This is 3 things that I will collecting the score from you. The first one, I want to see timeline of an art of a topic that you just got it. And the second one, how you analyze and summarize it as identities, right? And then the third one is try to creating new design. Try to. That is just like if you understand what it came from, what it was influenced or was developing for, you will can understand or can predict what it could be in the next, right, in the next generation or in your generations as well. So these three things that I will focusing on your presentation today. And yes, like I provide you for three groups. The first one, body and art, because PM in Pastel is talking about two things which is related to the body very much. Okay, from the lips and toothbrush. The second group is communication and art. Estelle, Zoe, and Koki was talking about something that you use for communications, but you you thought from you're thinking of today. So the thing that you use from today, they have developing of the conversation, the communications through the period of the time. And for the last group is social and art. Sherry, Yo-Yo, and Jassy, three girls talking about something, but focusingly on the socializations of those things. So I think this could be interesting that both of you, for the whole class, are learning from body and art, social and art, and communication and art. Okay, the last class, like the things that we use, we practice ourselves, like the human body, especially the woman body. Through the period of the time, the woman have to represent a beauty of the society and try to set the standard of women, right? And this kind of thing, right? This is an 80s, 1980s fashions. Why the girls have big shoulders? Like the proportion was changed. Why? Because we have to understand what went to, right? Like David Bowie in 1971 and the brand Isemiyake want to represent the new idea of fashions. Fashion is just not something that following the strategy of government, but can creating something that can negotiate the main topic or the main discord of this society as well. And Isemiyake bring out an idea of epochs. Epoch is mean like place of clothes, which is mean like the body of a human could shape up the idea of fashion, not just industrial. Control not to have size S, size M, size L, size XL. We could not just only the number. We have our feeling, right? So that could the clothes, the fashion could creating for us, not the industrial creates something for us. That is the modern world that creates something which is equally and calculate as a number, right? So you are size M, size S, size L, and this is how Isemeke want to present it, want to negotiate with the world to against the massive fashions like Uniqlo, and then this is a presentation of epochs in 1976. The human body was presented in the new way, in the new kind of fashions. And yes, right now we're living in the world that we're finding a new describe of the beauty. So as you can see, like if you watch fashion show, this one is not American, but this one is Comme des Garçons. Comme des Garçons is the brand which is like established in the same period of American as well. But those two brands thinking of the new beauty of clothes, not just only following the industrial, that's it, but try to give a new idea. And this is all how can creating something new to negotiate with the social movement. Okay, this is just the beginning, just intro for your presentation. So I think it's time, guys. It's time for your representations. So, which group ready? I guess looking at the name, I think group number 2 ready, right? Communications and art.
I think 3.
3. Okay, maybe 3. Okay, maybe 3. Okay, Sherry, you ready, Yo-Yo? It's time. It's time. Ready or not? It's time already. Okay. Could you share your screen? Group number 3. social and
Okay,
art. Mhm.
the moment. Wait a moment. I need to open the file. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But remember, this is a group work, so I think like not just only Yo-Yo presented, or maybe Sherry and Koki want to say something. Just help each other to gain more score. Okay.
Yeah, this is our group work in a same page, and
Mhm.
our topic is the design of the Beijing Opera face, the face of the Beijing Opera. We are interested in face. And first here, sorry. Firstly, here's the history of the Beijing Opera. And Beijing Opera is beginning from the 70, 80 years. And at the medium part, actually is close to the 2000 years. And from now, it's very mature for the Beijing Opera. But for the Beijing Opera, like they divide into two parts when they get matured, because it get matured for a traditional way and the new way, modern way. So like the late stage of the Beijing Opera has appeared, like the new way, the modern way. It's very different from the old way. And from the new way and old way, there have some characteristics. It's very different from each other. From the old way, the painting on the face is very extravagantly and use a lot of color. But from a modern way, they change to a new way, like middle picture. The painting on the face is not so strong, like as a normal way before. And the costume, like the costume they're wearing for the performance, is like the more simple. At the first time, this kind of opera is like playing in the palace, so it's very have the lots of decoration on their clothes. But and from now, the new way for these Beijing operas, like they more close to the life, like not only for the extractly way, just create something like the more close to reality life. And here's like the feature of the Beijing opera face, and we decided to focus on the face because the face is the main point of the Beijing opera's changing. And here's some color that's meaning on the face, and here's what's showing the lines, like the lines on the face. They can show the texture of the facial muscle, like how they moving on, like the smile or sad, like this, like show the emotion on human's face. And you can guess this man, this is the character like from now, but he is a man. He's a man, but acting like the woman way, and he's really famous. And he also like to play the Beijing opera too. It means Li Yugang. And from now, it's like we're designing to design some face, connect with modern time and with ancient times Beijing opera. Like first I want to talk is like, here's my part. Like we focus on the Beijing opera and now the social reality. Like we think the social background is like it's a internet development, very fast era, right? Right. And many people's like this seems like not living in a real life. They living on internet, and the internet but it's not real, right? So they're always wearing like the fake mask, like the fake mask on the internet. That on the internet maybe they are not true themselves. So we create something like the characters like really related into this year's news. And first one is like these three are all the bad guy, but not totally bad guy. some way they are bad guy. Yeah, first one's like create characters like a very young age person, and like you can see, let me like zoom in. Yeah, you can see here's like the face. On the left hand side, we design like left hand side, maybe it's a real themselves, but just do something drawing on their face, like showing like the modern Beijing opera way, but not the costume, just the face painting. So the first characters like on the left hand side, it's their fake face. Actually, it's a fake face. At this point, we just use a mask to show their real characteristic. And because nowadays some persons like this seems like a good person, but they actually is not good as thing looking like this. And the right face is like a Beijing opera mask. Like here's I showing the actual characters of this person. Yeah, actual characters. Actually, this person I create like using the traditional Beijing opera's color. Like these three have the same point. Like they use the white and the blue and the black, because white and black is a supposed color, right? So and its meaning in Beijing opera is also supposed to each other, like opposed to each other. Like the black means royalty, the white means cheating. Like you can see the middle person, actually he is a cheating with the royal person, the royalty person. Yeah, because this one actually in this day's news, he is like a good guy or a bad guy. It's can like he is a black and white person, really black and white, because he's not good at his family. Like he's cheating on her, his wife or her mom like this. But at the same time, like he wearing a fake mask on the internet, but he give poor children in the mountain a lot of money and some clothing to them for many mornings. So in other way, he is also a good person. Yeah. And for the last ones, like yeah, I forgot to tell like the color of the blue. Actually, in the blue colors in Beijing opera, the blue is means like have a good mind, like yeah, have a good mind, like the how to say, sometimes this kind of persons like very claim down, like they're very claim, some make some decision, they are very claim. And actually in Beijing opera they have no pink color, but from now it's like the pink is nowadays very popular color. At that time don't have the pink, only have the red, that kind of color. And now just create a pink, like create a new color means that nowadays like a pink maybe meaning the good wish or the meaning for the love, for the pink. Yeah, for the pink is meaning for the love. And you can see some they have some same point also use this 4 kinds of color. And the last one, this one is elder than this two. And actually from this part, like at his face, I think is really like the stateable and mature for this person, but actually he is a really selfish person. So in nowadays the social background is changing, so sometimes we see this person, oh, it's mature, but he's really like the cheating. cheating for other people for his sorry, my pronunciation is wrong. Yeah, cheating on other guys for himself like this. And these characters I create, like this 3 guy is an emotion cheater. Yeah, emotional cheater. Yeah, like performance. Like we create 3 kind of characters. First is the emotion cheater. Second is Cherry's part. It's a song of the audience on the internet. And third part is Jesse's part. Jesse's part is like the main character too. Is a woman. Now let me move to the Cherry. Yeah, Cherry.
Okay, can you just like give the part of mine? Just like
Yeah,
go
okay.
into
Wait
it.
a moment. Oh, sorry. Too big. Oh no.
So I think for our design, like be easy to understand, which we want to use the face, the mask to represent some like some matters, something happened with our like the real life. So my part which is taken the rule like our like our like I mean not the normal people, but when something happened, something matters. So we are the group like we should see in the matters, see in the things what happened to watch that. So like this year we get something like very like some news like happened with idols in China, something very big events like that. So we become to a group that very like I think is also like important because we share our comments on the internet, like our different comments with the thing what happened. So I just spread it to be 3 groups. So for the first group, which is we call them like keyboard. So what the rule that they taken, which is they what no matter what happened, the words that they're using, which is very harsh, and they don't care the truth of the matters, or they don't care the feeling of people if people they see the comments. So there's a group of that, like the angry people. I think like to make people feel very bad. And the second group of mine, which is like they always be very nice, like with this event or the matter. And the third group, which is the take the role of like the sorry the neutral like person like two in the center. So you can see my first one, which is the man that I draw. I just like combine the half of my mask, which is the red one, and I do some changing on the eyebrow and also the mouth, like to make it like looks more angry, and also the eyes, and get some like makeup for the person, like to deepen the dark eye circle and like make people looks very like not nice, like yeah. And my second like character, which is take the group like be the nice people. So the purple color from the mask also have the same meaning. So the with the makeup, so you can see like I make the eyebrow like to be straight, so to represent these people is very like very very nice, and also be like brave, like something like that. And also like became to with the things happened, like they don't be very like angry or upset or something very harsh. So my third character created, which is people in the center, like to have the attitude like of the remind like nature. So they always like they don't give comments with the things happen, or they just give the untruth or things or theories, like be very natural, like be very like in the center, like they don't be like each part of the matters. So yeah, this is my part.
Um, I think Jazzy, right? Another part, Jazzy.
Yeah. And for me, part actually about my design, the inspiration is the protagonist in an ancient Chinese palace drama, the Zhenhuan, because the drama series had a great influence at the time. The protagonist, the name was used to describe a type of person whose his has changed after being built by real life, and they are more like victims of a reality. And in fact, I think this kind of people is very common in life, because now people's social interaction had become more convenient due to the development of technique, and many people will socialize from the internet. And when people go to socialize, the may get in touch with new things, and people's social interactions were always from social circles, and each circles will have different. So I just designed two different phase. The first one maybe when they can touch this new things, maybe they will to sorry, maybe my first face is a blue one. The left facial maybe have a figure operates by life, and the eyebrows are soft. Yeah, and highlighting the depressed mood, the carving of part of the face with hair is a form of self-protection. Yeah, maybe they need maybe the real self. She can maybe show them, and the right face actually the real character is sad. Yeah, you can see maybe the mouth part is just done. And I use the blue color to design that. Maybe the blue in Beijing opera, the meaning is strong and brave, but maybe in these features, I just want to to just maybe calculating means. Yeah, and the right face maybe give the face a friendly look, and the planning to smile in order to maybe just like very friendly. And the second face, the right face, the left face just determine eyes, and the eyebrow are maybe raised, and the heart is strong, and the whole person is competent and maybe characterful. And the right face, I use the right color is main color, and sorry, the right color in Beijing opera the main maybe it's loyalty and valor. Maybe the red is very strong and is very maybe how to say that, maybe very strong, and the red face, the craved lines give a face a friendly feeling, and the pattern to smile in order to couple the oppressions of life and the really life and the reality. Yeah, maybe this is my design. That's all.
Thank you for three of you. Can I share some screen? I have a question, just a little bit questions. From the Beijing opera, like that you just mentioned. So I really like the timeline. We can see like the traditional one, right? Traditional one is like in the 17 something, and then strike to 1850s. It's the time, it's modern period, right? It's modern period. It changed everything a lot, and then the face was making more clean, right? The old one is so colorful. And then for right now, like after World War II, the things was ran by the business and capitalism. This fair is used for entertainment, right? And I think what's next is 2021, right? What it could be next, right? I think why it had to be changed from like 20 centuries to 21st century. What is change? So that's why you have to create something new. I think the change that three of you said is different change. The first one, like the yo-yo, just talking about like the people was changed, especially the guy, the character of the guy, which is cannot unsure, they can good or bad, it cannot describe by just one face. The character of people was changed. And Sherry's talking about like internet, right? The internet making people change. And Jackie talking about like the personality was changed, like they are victim, they smile and sad, but not strongly point. I think if you guys can, how to say, like summarize what is the big change, so we can see through like how can we change from the mass, the Beijing opera mass, to become a present. This is a question for you, like what is the main point of three of you try to design for today? What change? What is the big change in your opinion?
Actually, for the change, like first I said like nowadays like Beijing opera divide in two ways. The first way is a traditional way. The second way is a modern way. And these two ways have the really different. But from now, so people like more prefer like the modern way because they more close to the life. And they forgot the traditional way, but still had the people love the traditional way. So just create something like maybe in the future, the traditional way will mix with the modern way, like the middle, mix in the middle, not like more traditional or more modern, like they just half and half. Like bring this way, maybe it's in the future in this way.
Okay, so you mean like you will define something in between traditional ones and modern ones, and creating new characters on that performance.
Yeah, I think in the future we'll have the more character, like more color were discovered, like the pink, like these ones were discovered, like the never had in the old period like this.
Um, yeah, that could be in that way as well. But if you're creating some painting on the face, right, as a mask, and they will get into like the traditional or like the modern one mixed as a contemporary one. But the story, what it could be, right? Because as as you just showed me, it could be like an 8, almost an 9 faces to become a new characters to the contemporary story. What is the
Yeah,
storyline? What is the storyline? Because it's those are 9 faces that you just give us a different
actually,
topic.
yeah,
Mhm.
this new face, like I just want to share, like they're really different with their face for their real characteristic in their real body. Like I think the opera is from our life, like we are living, so something happened, like events or the news, and it's inspired the people to create the opera. Yeah, and from now it's like has a lot of topics on the internet, and I think internet will be a next space for the opera to create.
Okay, that could happen. Um, Move to another topic that I would like to talk. The design. Why you design for uh
Half
two
and
sides? Yeah. Why?
actually for the left hand side, I think lots of people like using their mind from the right hand side, left, right,
Mm.
yeah. Right hand side, use the right hand side, and right hand side is their real self, like right mind,
Uh-huh.
their real self. Yeah.
Right.
And
Mine could be this way. Mm-hmm.
yeah, why I create like a half face like this way? Actually, I think the people is like not totally good, but sometimes able to. Just this evil is not too much sometimes. So in this halfway, the half nose, half eyes, half mouth, it means that maybe sometimes their saying is not truth and it can be truth. And also just divide the face into this ways is more than this ways because it's not complete yet and it's not complicated because you just cut the eyes. It's like, oh, my eyes is hiding, like not real.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, people need to use our eyes, our nose, our mouth together. Like
Mm-hmm.
we have the communication. We need to use all the organs on our face.
Mm. I'm not really think that two part they have different thought because the thought come from the brain, right? And it doesn't mean like the brain part which is delivered from two sides. But I think it's very nice that if you can start with the characters, right? And then making the shape or making the colors which is related to the character that you create. I think three of you have different design, but if you can summarize, like the color is important, the graphic is important, the feeling, the emotion is important. So you three of you will have like the same tools to create the 9 characteristic of today with the same theme, not divided for 3 parts, and then it's very hard to understand what will uh, those 3 design will moving the society to when to where. I don't know, like why you want to creating 9 characters to negotiate something or not, to present just only present. That's it. Maybe you could come up with a theme like, okay, the modern uh, the modern opera, they still like have something old fashioned, like the sexual, or some old story like good people is good people. From that, you can change the topic and making a new storyline to creating some story, which is negotiate the social, right? For right now, it's just like you you represent diversity, but I don't know that all those nine like diversity that you just gave us, or eight diversity faces, is give us what we're going for. Do you have any idea?
Actually, for these three kind of character we create, like I create a main character and Jesse is main character too. These two characters on the internet and they have some difference. I create like they are famous people, but Jesse creates like they are normal people in our daily life, like ordinary people, but have a relationship with the famous people. And for the Cherry creates, it's like most of the ordinary people, like they just give their comments, like the judgment on these two kinds of people. Yeah.
If this is the same storyline, I'm not sure that eight faces is connecting with the design, because the design is not from the same design, but it could be nice that you can creating some storyline to make me understand more like what happened with an eight characters, and it could be more fun. But anyway, thank you very much. Like I have learned a lot about the Beijing opera faces. Anything to say, Jesse and Sherry? No.
Yeah, I think that's something like so like as we know like the Beijing opera, which is nowadays like our young people we didn't to watch it like anymore. Like for me, I never going to watch it, but for my grandmother and grandfather like that, their generation they still watch this and they still also follow. But like as we know like our young people we are stopped to watch this. So I think another purpose like to achieve this new kind of like generation of Beijing opera, I think, to let like our young people to know and to get more like, because it's our like as like we show the history like it like keeps like many years like 1,000 years, not 1,000 years like many hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I think yeah, it's our culture. So like we don't want to the culture like be disappear or like just like no one going to like impart it.
I really get your point, Sherry, but I think the story that they want to hear, I mean, like the younger generation want to hear, it's just not the same storyline, right? Because any each of period, they have the different social story, right? In the very old time, China want to combine as the one China, right? So it's talking about the same spirit, talk about good or bad, talk about fighting for our nation or something. And once it changed to the modern one, it's talk about like the small scale love, cheating, like the dramatic, the romantic kind of thing. And what's next? What next? In our generation, in the 21st century, what the story, which is like the Chinese people want to move our nation to? Maybe equalities. I don't know. Maybe like the the new storyline of love. I don't know. Maybe you should come up with this, right? The story that you want to tell for tomorrow's generations, and then the character will be stronger than this. But I get your point. Like you want to perceive this culture following pass forward to younger generation. I get it. That's great. That's great idea. Okay, thank you. Anything, Jesse? Wanna speak more on? That's it.
No.
Okay, thank you very much for your group. So, okay, I will evaluate you and tell you score next week. Thank you. Moving to, I guess, which group that
Can I
you want? Okay, group number 2.
Yeah.
Communication and
Okay,
art.
and Estelle, yeah. Okay. Estelle, yeah. Can you share your screen? Okay, so the topic of my group is communication and art. And like we just analyze and work together. But for today, I will present the first part, the timeline. And later on, I'm still gonna present the style, appearance, the color, the form of like communication and art. And finally, like Koki, we're present our design for tomorrow. Okay, next page. Yeah, so here, like on the first timeline, I just gave like we are explore like how human communicate through the history. And we find like basically there are 3 periods. And like the first one is about like 300,000 years ago, like where the language is invented, people start to like communication by mouth, by language. And later on, like in 3000 BC, like when I just gave like you an image, like give you a concept, like what time is it? So in like 3000 BC, like where like they are just start to like establish the pyramid. And at that time, like the word is invented by human. So they start to writing, and also like paper are the technique of like making paper also invented. So people start to like use the paper media to deliver information. They are writing letters, and later on, like in sorry, last page, sorry. Yeah. So in this time, like we are at like 18 and like 36 year, which is the year that American suffers from like financial crisis. And it's the time like we're starting to move to like total communications, where like it's some time because like we are have like industrial revolutions in 1960s, and later on we start to like have some inventions of like electric, we have like some trees, like we have more like a moving forward design. So in this period, we start to have like telegraphy and telephone, something like that. And later on, which is in like 1969, it's like the time like our country is celebrating the I think the 20th the 20th anniversary of like the founding of New China, which means like our country is 20 years old. And in that year, we are moving forward and we are into like the network communication. And also in this year, because like the internet is born. So because of like internet born, we can moving on to like network communication. We have like 1G phone, like we have like we can email people, something like that. Like next page, please. Yeah, and this one is more like specific. On the last one, and the last page, I just want to show you like the period, like we are summarized. But here is like more details, like telling you what happened during this time. Yeah, so language, we are like evolve from like language and paper writing, and then we are moving on, like we have like telegraph and telephone, and also like camera. I think it's also like a tool of communication. And later on, like in just mentioned, like in 1969, like we start to like have internet, so we can email people. And later on, like something we call like technology, like new things are born, like 1G phone, 2G phone, 3G, 4G, like 5G we have now. And now like our phones, even though like we are starting from like communicate by mouse and then by hands, and later on like we are also by hands, but we're just typing, and we can like take pictures using pictures and like word to like communicate with people. And we're getting like avoid of like the limit of distance, because like we have internet, so we can like just text your friends even though you are not at the same place, even though you're not at same country. And also like I have to mention like in nowadays, because we're students, right? I think everyone like we use every day is like meeting, like distance meeting, and also like phones. These are the main, I think, media like we communicate with people, with China, but sorry, with like teachers, with like our friends. And I just want to mention like it's not only phone we are focused on, but also like we are focusing on like video phone and like phone watch, which influence nowadays design. Like every kids they have like their phone watch. I think like every kids have the in my community, and also like we start have like video phone, so it's like improved to be the distance meeting like Zoom we're having now. Next page, please. So here's just some like summary based on my timeline analysis. So I just like made it like the past and nowadays. So in the very past, because the things they are very huge, like the telegraphy, like the telephone, they're not small for you to like carry on to everywhere, and also they are expensive. So only senior class or like high, like top level people, they can own it. But nowadays, like everyone have it. And then also like later on when the phones getting popular, but only adults and younger generations, they know how to control the phone, how to use the phone. But now like even my grandpa, he used his phone to like chatting in WeChat with people. And also in the timeline, I just find that the things, because we are experienced from like the industrial revolution, and we are like luckily like born like after the internet. So now like we are communicate with people like much faster, even though we are not in same country, and also like easy to carry on. I think it's Estelle, we're gonna explain to you later, because in like 1860s, 1880s, like we have modernism, which influenced the design, and also from 2D to 2.5D, which means like we can have like videos, we can have Zoom meeting to communicate with people, and we have like also like live photos as well. In the so many years, like I'm watching Harry Potter, and I just I found the pictures very interesting because they can move. But nowadays we achieve it. It's a kind of like communication also with people and also with future. And next part is to Estelle.
Okay. So here I'm gonna explain the change of their shape and style and form, color, and so on. So the first period is face-to-face communicate, and at first people think it's the God teaches them can speak language, and later they have different ideas. Like some people think during the labor stimulate the production of language, like when people killed some animals, they will like have some songs like ah or yeah something, and during developing, so they can speak something. And also there are some people think the language from the human primate, like at first, like the monkey can say something or can have some songs, and then during developing, people can say some simple words, and finally we can speak some language. And another people thought the language came out suddenly in certain stage. Actually, I think these 4 stages are similar, but this one is like it's like the dinosaur suddenly went extinct. It's just suddenly we can speak the language. And also some people think we limit the sounds in nature, and after hearing them, we can speak some language. So the first period, we like communicate face to face, just speaking, and know some objects, know some physical thing, physical stuff, can communicate. And the next page is the physical later. Physical later, that's me, not only later, that's me. We have some physical stuff which we can touch or we can feel to help us to communicate. And here is the reason, explain why the physical stuff come out. Like when we just, if we just speaking, it's no business, like what people say. And also we only remember it by our mind. Also sometimes we forgot it and make some mistakes. So now the physical objects come out, like we have some people letters and then some rope later, slick later, and so on. So in this period, we don't need to face to communicate. We can communicate through some physical objects. Yeah, and then during the development of technology and science, we have the telephone and earphone and like any objects that can help us to communicate. And here I just put some picture here because last class we already talked about them, some details like the timeline. Yeah, 2000 years we have MP3 and games, and then we can touch the screen. And then here I want to talk to the modernism movement. This movement also is an important reason that changed our like communicate stuff. The time is the late 19th century, and the people, in order to against the old style and older thoughts, so people pay more attention to express their feelings and thoughts. So, and here is like based on the silence and the reason, the truth, and the logical. Here I give a example. So here is a architecture in modernism time period. Like the roof is flat and the color simple and the facades simple, and the windows is like just square or circle or triangle or something. It's so simple. So it's the same idea with our communicate stuff. So here is the trinity of our communicate stuff. Like we pay more attention to their function, their perform, and also the shape is smaller and smaller. The color is colorful but simpler. Like the colorful and the simpler can combine with each other. I mean, like the AirPods is for white. We also can choose another color like for pink or for green. It's colorful but simple. And also the technology is intelligent. So here is the Trinity, smaller, colorful, and simpler, smarter, and more convenient. We can take it way easier. So next is our design. That's Cookie's part.
Really? Oh my God. Okay.
Okay. Through the above research on the historical evolution progress of these three kinds of information technology products, we found that the forms of these three kinds of things we are concerned about are getting smaller and lighter. So we thought about that. Why not directly create a product that can be implanted into human body and for free hands? So we think of the arrows in the human eyes, which is more provide code similar to the fingerprint, and everyone's arrows is different. So therefore, we think that this point is also precisely combined with information technology products since the development of the pursuit of progress. And first of all, we think the technology can help people free their hands and use it without carrying anything with them. And second, we can use brain waves to create a spatial singer that supports the internet connection. I think that points that we used to saw in the movie. And third, we hope that the technology can also realize intermittent communication without face-to-face create or remote video calls. When people want to talk to each other, they just can project the figure of each other through their arrows and communicate with each other in a braille free way. And firstly, and last one, if you want to pay for a translation, you can scan the QR code with your arrows. So I think that is much interesting things for that. So that is our presentations. Thank you.
Okay.
Just to
Okay. You want to mention more? Just speak up. Yeah.
yeah, just to like adding more of our final design, because we're thinking like why our ancestors their design such like more things like to as a tool to help us to communicate, because like they want to like get out the limitation of the space and the time. So now like what I think is most convenience way to communicate with people is also language, face to face. It's much like it's easy to like contain it's easy to convey what I'm thinking. So we're thinking like how can we gonna like back to like we don't need media, like we use ourselves and we can achieve like communicate with people and like without the limitation of the space and time. So we got this idea we can use our like iris, and it's controlled by our brain. So it's just like a small phone like in your brain, so you can just communicate with people what time is it and whatever where the people are. So and yeah, here just some like 3 characteristics we're list on. Like it's hands-free, so we don't need to like carry our phones on the hand. You don't have to like take a bag into to hold your hands to hold your phones, right? And also it's brain control, so it's much more like intelligent. And also like 3D communication, we don't know like we can achieve it, but just like an idea, like we can like the image here, like we can see the people when they are meeting, like it's not only like 2D images, but we can see like the whole body of it, where he is, like what he is doing, like the whole body in front of you. So it's much more, I think, efficient and maybe interesting in the future.
I was shocked about your presentations because the design is so interesting for me. Like if it turned out to be this way, I have 2 questions for your groups. Firstly, what to communicate for? Yourself to yourself or yourself to the others?
To others.
Other like friends, like
Yeah.
smart TV, smart home, like imagine more like if it connect with your brains, right? And
Mhm.
what is the brain is so complexity, right? Once you think, and you never be thought. It's never conceptualized, it's never summarized. Once you think something bad, but you never said it, it's never function, it's never speak out. But once you play with your brain, I want to know more like what is the mechanism to to organize those kind of things. Like if you want to, maybe like if you want to know what temperature is, you just think and then you know it. That's it. Or maybe like you want to talk with your grandma, how it would be from the lens that you just put on like a lens from your eyes.
Yeah, we are thinking also for this part because our
Mm.
brain, so active, much more than we thought.
Complicated,
Yeah,
chaotic. Yeah.
complicated. Yeah, and in the very first time, like we just think like we have Siri now, right, in our phone, and then we just talk with him like Siri, call my mom, and we are thinking like the arrows can be such things like maybe we say like call my mom, and she will help you to call, give you a call, and you don't have like any screen like phone screen, but it's among your eyes, like if you have like a panel in front of you, it's just like a projector, it can play it on the wall, so it can see like the video, the call or something. Yeah.
I think it's very interesting because like once can I share my screen? Like I think
Yeah.
right if you jump to this topic, I think you have to know these three things. The first thing is AR, VR, and MR, right? AR is something that is setting in the real world, but you have to tracking on the real things like Pokemon Go, right? It's GPS thing, it's tracking on the building. So once you use your phone or smart glass or smartwatch, you can see something, connect with the real thing. This is AR, but VR is virtual. It's just only the visual. We cannot touch, but we just cannot. But we just can see. But we are moving to MR, which is 5G. 5G can make it because what the difference from 4G and 5G? Not just only faster, but the fastest generations of cellular can control from machine to machine, not just human to machine. It's smart home. So like the lamp can control the lighting by the waiters. That just calculated by the machine to the machines, right? And mixed reality have to work with something that you can see and something you cannot see or just see. Mixed as one thing. And I think that is the content that I think you never lead us to get into. If it is speaking of communications, right? You just lead us to the latest iPhone. But the latest iPhone, a phone, changed itself from a telephone to cell phone to smartphone, and then we don't need no phone. We just need something that wearable in our body. We don't need some object to carry on. We need smartwatch. We need something that's smart glass, which is like we wearable to our body. But it's very interesting that it's just not wear, but if it's sync to our body, and you use the contact lens to put it. I think this is beyond. But I want to know if you are making from the mixed reality to the contact lens, what to communicate for, right? Maybe it's developed to like you communicate with yourself, you communicate with avatar, you communicate with the metaverse. Like you no need to speak with the real person anymore. But I don't know, like what will move our culture, our generation, once we divide it to all the friends. We need no friend because we have all the friends which is on social media. We don't need to have a real friend, but that's sad, right? I don't know, because your storyline just continuing only the technologies. I want you to understand the the change of the culture, the change of social, and that could be a topic that you will decide for. But right now, the design is very beyond my expectation. It's very nice to design something that you can wear it like naturally, hand-free, connect with your brain. That is so technical. But what for? Maybe you can answer me or not. Maybe it can improve our relations, right? Maybe you can know me more. Maybe you're speaking of like the problem to start online. It's so boring, right? You can never see me in the person. But if you're wearing the contact lens, the smart contact lens, maybe you can know me more. Maybe you can like see me as like 360 anchor from now, from where I am now. That could improve the communication, right? Or maybe you can see me more data, like okay, what is the brand of my shirt? Where I went today, the data that you never see, just only the speaking, you can see me more. And that I think like that will change that you improve, that you evaluate our social, right? I think that the topic of the social could be something that you present too, what we're moving for.
Yeah.
And any ideas? If you think like if you have to elevate our society, what your smart contact lens would help? Or maybe like what you want to know more? What is the threat or what is the weakness that you learn online? Maybe if you use a contact lens, that smart contact lens for learning, for studying, that can help more. I don't know. Maybe you can, because it have no device, right? You can walk and talk at the same time. Maybe you can just on the plane right now, but learning from me, really, that could be great as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just leave it that way. But I think your design is very bizarre. It's great. It's great. I mean, bizarre in a good way. And but I want you to put more about the topic of the design, right? What for? If you understand the social, that could be great. But thank you. Anyway, thank you. This is pretty nice content. Moving on to the last group. Okay, I'm running out of the time, but that's fine. You guys pretty late. So pay the price. Okay, him and Esther. Oh no, not Esther. Him and Castel.
Yes.
Castel. Show me what you got.
1 second. Present. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so our topic is about body and art. And me and Castel, we work on many of these ideas like this. The beginning of our presentation, we'll talk about like different ways, different types of body arts, and then we'll go dig into details of tattooing arts. And later, Casio will be talking about and analyzing the form and how the timeline of the tattoo has been changing. And then I'll talk about the design. So just a general knowledge of performing arts, it has been a way of like using body to express more like dramatic gestures to people. And it's a way like they create entertainments and use their body in like motion and movements. And these are just like some people we can argue that like performing art is an art or is not an art. So, but we see it as an art, so that's why we're trying to bring this idea to our presentation as well. So getting into more tattoo, because I think tattoo is like the most obvious examples of body arts that we see, especially now. So what actually is tattoo? Like most people don't really know what it means, just see the work, but actually tattoo is a form of body modification by using ink, dyes, or pigments or colors, and kind of like do an art on the outer layer or inner layer of your skins to form a design, a shape, or an art. And tattoos basically have three categories, like a really broad categories. Like first is purely decorative, like for the aesthetic, I think, just to look cool, just to, I don't know, with no specific meanings. And the second type is symbolic tattooing. It can mean something like a symbol. And last one is like pictorial. It's like a depiction of specific person or items, like relating to like realism. Pictorial in this case is like is used for like identification, such as like ear tattoo or form of branding, like tattoo a superstar actors on your body or skin. And at the end, it all comes up to like, what is the purpose of tattoo? And is the purpose of tattoo, which is for aesthetic or not? And this is just to show the timeline and the histories of tattoo, of like a very, very, very broad, where it starts and how it ends to like modern periods like this. I'm not gonna go over and explain everything because this just gonna give a general ideas, but it started very, very way back in like BC periods, where all the artworks and everything comes from like the cave paintings and very like Homoean styles. And later it has been developed over like Asian countries and European countries as well. And now tattoo is becoming more and more popular, and we still really bringing tattoo to the next level. So next, Castiel will talk about in details of like Eastern tattoo timelines and analyze that. Okay.
And then it's like choose the East culture of tattoo and to do the analyze. So this is the history of the tattoo in China development. So in the first time, it's like we found in the earliest is this during the Warring State period. We found on the sculpture there got the carving, got the texture on the sculpture body. So this is first found, and then it's like found in the Han Dynasty. We found the recording of the tattoo on the book, and in this book got this sentence is the tattoo broken hair to avoid dragon, because in the Asian of China, this is very traditional social. So people just think the dragon's the full of the powerful animal, and also dragon also is like the mysterious animal. And then to the Qing Dynasty also is found the sculpture on the texture on the sculpture. So with this period, it's like people just use the sculpture, use the tattoo on the sculpture to like in order to survive blessing, especially like the blessing for the peace. And then next to the next stage for the development. And first is with the Sui and the Tang Dynasty. And in this period, the tattooing got in fact like use the ink of the criminal, like use the ink on the criminal face. Then when after that, people will say, okay, this guy will got the mark of the tattoo, and then this maybe for these guys like they got the commit a crime. And then with the Song Dynasty, and in this period of the infant got changed. The tattoo not just for the criminal, also it's like meaning for the loyalty of the patriotism. For here's got a story like people start to use the ink to make the mark, like to I will fighting for the country, then I will mark, use the tattoo. And then after this is the Ming Dynasty. In this period, because in this period, the Asian China just closed the country door. So in this period, just to limit with the tattoo. So this is the stage of the development from bad in fact to good in fact, and then to the limit. And then for the last period is in the 19th centuries to 20th centuries. And for this time, just got the first tattoo machine in the world. Also for the tattoo machine, just in fact China. So with the tattoo also got the start another development. Like people start to use the symbolized line, some symbolized geometry shape to use the pattern of the tattoo, and until now got the diversification of the tattoo. Yeah, this is for the history, and then for the type of tattoo. For in the West, in the East culture, with a tattoo divided to the three main different types. First is the old Japanese traditions. The second is the Japanese neo tradition. Third is the Chinese tradition. So with these three different types, got those type of tattoo. First is the old school. With this style, it's like use a very traditional West culture American to make the tattoo, and then it's like to use the very form a thick black outline and very weak structure, strong contrast, color, and symbol translations. And so this is like the character is like overall slow strong. And then it's like with the new style, this new style is like start to change with the thickness of the line. And then it's like be more full of the lively, full of the life with the tattoo. And then after this is the Kano style. The Kano style usually use the black and the green. So and this color is like it's a symbolize of the powerful. Especially they want to identify the organization. And then it's like the dot and the line style. This is use some very easy line, some very easy geography shape to make some meaning inside. And then for the totem tattoo, this is very interesting because for the totem got the meaning is like inside people believe the Asians come from the animal or plants, so they have the relationship with some animal or plants, so they will use this shape to make the totem of their tattoo. And then is the so it's like which is the totem tattoo to make the deep analyze. So first is like with this word tattoo is come from the Indians. The meaning is like the relative, and also it's like mark. So like I mentioned, like totem is like they just choose the shape of the animal and plant to make the totem. So there's like this picture here. People this is in this totem got the meaning like this sentence. The destiny of the blackbird and the birth of business, because in the ancient China there is a lot of the trade in China. So with the business just they need to allow January to be made on food. So they just thinking about the bird, because bird just flying on the sky. So it's very easy for the birds, very easy to tramp over mountains and to revise. So they think maybe, so they just thinking use the bird to be the totem to symbolize about, they also want to like the bird to fly on the sky, and then it's like it's like they can very easy to get to the destination. This is for the bird totem. And then this is a totem symbolize. For the second meaning of the totem is to sign. It's like normally with some tube, they just made some special totem for their tube. It's like for this tube is like symbolize of the different social organization. This is like got the one totem, then this totem is symbolized with the close blood relations. And then this also can distinguish from each other. At the same time, it's like people just believe totem first meaning is to symbol of the organization, and the second, the totem can protect them, because like this picture, the totem, they got a totem, like this totem is in front of the village, and then when people get into this village, they will know, okay, this place is belong to this tube, then they cannot get into this place. So this is a sign for the place. And then it's like for the main variation of the totem, because also it's around the East culture. For the first is use the flag to point up to represent about the totem, like the dragon, they use the dragon flag. So it's like for in the ancient China, the empire just use the shape of the dragon to make the shape on the clothes, like and then on the use the dragon shape to on the furniture and everything, so use the shape of the dragon. And the second is is on the dress. For the yao is use the line and some geometry shape on the clothes. Then this shape is like to represent about the yao's history. And then for the dance, and in China we got very traditional dance, like to dress up as a totem animal image to dance. So normally we use the lion, this animal, and then it's tattoo into self. For the totem, made the tattoo. Like for example, in the people who in Taiwan mostly like they use the snake as a totem, because they think the snake is very powerful and the snake can protect them. And then is this thing. This is the totem. Oh, let me see. This is the to how people to represent about the totem. Normally we were like, it's hard to divide the totem and the pattern, but it's like totem are patterns, but patterns are not the necessarily totem, because with the tattoos, the tattoo mark the face and of the tube, and also like the totem is to tell of the cultural history of the tube. And then it's like use the land and the stories tattoos on their body. And then it's like for the tuber, use the animal and other natural element to make the mark as a tattoos. And then it's like to symbolize of fight, to give them power to fighting. And also it's the social state. So here I got two examples. First is the Jason Mammon. If you see the movie, The King of the Sea, you will know this performance. On this performance, got the tattoos, like use the shark tooth on the body because it's based on the culture of Hawaii, Iceland, where it's the homeland of this performance. And he just used the shark tooth tattoo totem on the most of the body because in the Hawaii, Iceland, they just believe the shark guard, and with the shark, the powerful thing of the shark is the tooth. So they just to make the shark tooth to make the totems, like to a belief passed down in a family. And then second is another performance. This is the Dwayne Jason. For the Dwayne Jason, who is the Samoan descent, and also they got the totem tattoos. For the totem on his body, is like use the tradition. This is the because he's just from the Samoa, so like in this place they have the traditional tattoos from inherit with the family. Like so with the tattoos got meaning, it's like to protect the family. And then is the design from the different design from the pin.
Okay, so yeah, so the design, like the design inspiration and the categories that I kind of like go for in my design was basically like what would be the future of tattoo and how like totem tattoo can be developed further in the future. And because like in our topics we talked about body art and we talked about tattoos, and these are just examples of things that had an influence on my design. First is of course the animal representations of tattoo totems, like people believe that their ancestors are birds or owls or something like that. And also with the colors as well. I mean, color here is relating to like the future of tattoos because now most tattoo are only in black and white. Like that's the most famous one, but also there are many different colors tattoos out there, but has not yet like been normalized that much. And then with tattoo, in fact, it's like a 2D or 2D artwork on your skin with ink and your body and stuff. But the elements that I want to add in is like piercing, because in some totem patterns, tattoos, they have like little dots and little lines patterns, and I think those like dots can be developed into like piercing on the face, on your body, or anywhere you want. And also like you see this guy, this one is like an example of a person who he thinks like his name is Anthony. He's from the US, and he thinks and he believes that his ancestors are aliens. So that's why he transformed using tattoo and piercing and surgeries and cut off his ear, cut off his nose and everything to make himself like so that the aesthetic of him looks like aliens to his eyes. And then also there's gender to the design as well, because girls and guys, yeah, anyways. So my design was very similar to Ajah's Puas assignment, but yeah, I designed to create like my own totem patterns, tattoo, not really tattoo, because I kind of adapted to makeup, because also tattoo can means like temporary and long-lasting tattoo. So I'm just going like with the makeup, and like the few things that I like the colors that I mentioned, the colors, like the main colors I use are red and orange, which is not like as common in tattoos. Most of them are blacks, but the reason there was that I think the future of tattoo would use a lot more red, because red is like the blood that is like on the inside of us, but like when outside we see skin, but actually like on the inside it's a lot of blood right there. And I think that's really who we are, and I'm trying to project that through the makeup. However, the orange one kind of represent joy and determined on my identity. Maybe you cannot see, but like the inspiration of this makeup are from the owls, like on the eyebrows.
Mm.
Yes, and so that's what I think. That's my ancestor, the owls. And yeah, the lines, like the patterns that it created. So you see that there are thick lines and small sharp lines that kind of create like a powerful sense of representation. And the dot patterns also kind of copy, not really copy, but from the totems pattern as well. And like I put jewelry here, but I haven't really added to my face yet. But I think in the future, people would like put it more on their body, on their eyebrows, on their eyes, on their lips, mouth, nose, and whatever. And this is for Casio.
Oh yeah, so for the tattoo, and also like one is like for the makeup, can be the makeup for the tomorrow design, and second I think also it's like the painting to express the feeling with your body. Maybe tattoo that like pimps designs on the face, but also it can design like to around your body to express the feeling, to like the tell the story with any kind of tattoo. It's like got a meaning inside, and also like to tell the story inside. And then it's like this just let me think about the ballet, because with the ballet, like this inside got a different kind of ballet. First is like romantic ballet, classical ballet, and there's a different kind of ballet. But for the most of the ballets, like to represent about it's about the body is like known for the smooth and accurate dance, and it's often used to symbolize of the image of the female dancer wearing the short white clothes. And for the body, it's like from the Italian, and then it's the prosperous in the France. And then with the France, normally we are thinking about the elegant and the graceful like this. So I got the design with the body. This is for the picture. This post is the representative pose of the ballet. And then with normally the meaning of the ballet is the transit of the spirit and pure the liberation of mind. And also the freedom of thought is the realistic and perpetual ordinary life. So the keywords for the freedom, year for the freedom. And then for the design, I just like to put to add some to draw some like the totem shape, use the dot and line style totem shape, and on the body of the dancer. So you need to say like from bottom to the top. It's like for the dancer, the body is like tell the story, but also about the shape of the pattern also tell the story. It's like from the bottom, you can see this line here. This line is like the steps, and then it's like you need to work what you need to step by step, and then like after insist, maybe inside got some problem. So with the problem, I just use the vine shape to make the to cover the steps. And then if you insist, and then it's like the blowing of the flower, and then you will like have the wing, and then it's like can fly to the sky like this. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that's all.
That's all right. Thank you for very massive data, but I think like two of you very work hard on this. I appreciate it. But they have a couple things that I want to talk. Okay, you develop it from the totems tattoo, which is symbolic one. In the categories of tattoo that Pim just mentioned before, they have three kinds. But totem is symbolic one, which is represent the belief of person, right? In the period of time, the belief of the person is like the power of the nature. So they conceptualize as a nature, like the figures of mountain, the figures of the sun, the shape of the animal could be the goddess that they believe that they have the superpower, the super natures, right? But it was developed by the culture, by the ethic. And then you drag us to Chinese and Japanese, which is like they have strong culture. And then they conceptualize the totem to the idea of the nations, right? Chinese and Japan, they conceptualize as a dragon or something. And those kind of things, the relative of the Indians or the how to say Indians in American as well, like they have some kind of totems. Even like in the Hawaii that you just mentioned, the actor from the Game of Thrones, some kind of thing. But once you bring them and develop this kind of concept to today, I just want to ask you, two of you, to the design, Pim, why you represent your own self with an arm to totem tattoo on your face? And why, Kasiel, why you present the graphic to the bodily body? Doesn't it have the representation of animal or any belief in that bodily body? The same questions, but it's different because of the two of your designs. Maybe Pim, you answer first.
Okay.
Why an arm?
I choose to represent myself as an owl because I mean birds, talking in a sense of like biological knowledge. I don't think human and birds have that much relation.
Okay,
but
nice.
In terms of like spiritual, like I like I don't know, the my bedtime, the way I lived, and like the personality of an owl that like is awake at night, or they're kind of like independent, something like that, kind of like link with who I wants to be, I think, or who I am, and that's why I just choose owls.
I think like an owl have the varieties of the representations of it, because of like any culture represent an owl. Some country call it as the dead, some country call it as the knowledge, right? But you conceptualize it as your own idea. That is 21st century people is. You know what I mean, right? We never give a shit. Sorry, we never give a thing with somebody else. Like we can creating our own idea. That's how I think. That's how you want to lead us to understand the future of tattoo. Because tattoo have no meaning for others, but for you. for individuals, right? So what else? Like I can tattoo Justin Bieber because I believe in Justin Bieber, or I can tattoo Alien because I think Alien is my muse. Any kind of my muse, any kind of my belief represent yourself without any relative of culture, religions, nations, or anything. If you lead us to that way, that's fair enough that you represent an art by your own idea. But I think you have to present the social movement through the tattoo because it drag us to get away from the norm of culture, norm of belief, norm of religions. It's just human body art. It's our property. It's ourself. It's just not yourself. So it changed from the body as the citizen, the body as the belief, to the body of mind, to body of individual. That could be great.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Kasa?
For me, it's like
Mhm.
first I choose a barlet. It's like for the barlets, they got the represent animals. It's the swan.
Yeah.
So I think this is a very powerful point with the swan. It's like always this animal like always like lift the body off and also like lift up the head. It's like here for the freedom. And also use the swan colors, the white color to cover the whole body, and also with this color is like it's represent about the graceful. Yeah, so that's why I just like to make some geometric shape to represent about to tell the history, like history to how can it come, how can you like year for your freedom.
I think that's great that you mentioned the swan because the swan is like the goose posture of the woman in very neoclassic and classical time, right? The organic of the form, the curvy of the shape, like make a human want to be a swan by the body and represent it just only in the good way, but the body was in the jail. I was be controlled to be that good concept. And I really like you use black colors because you want to present something. But I want you to understand like that is negotiation after modern. But what is the negotiation for today, right? Human just only be the perfect figure for animal, or we refer to animal for perfect figures, or we can create our own figures. What is the concept of the woman? Women don't want to be a goose, don't want to be a swan. Women want to be herself, right? So maybe if you have another concept, try to negotiate with 21st century of human figures, maybe you can like try to negotiate something, just not just only the colors, but the graphic, the concept would liberate the human body more than this. But very nice to use black, but I think the graphic not deliver well. So I cannot see like, okay, nice graphic, but what for, right? Maybe if you have some negotiator to negotiate something, that could be great. Okay, thank you, Pim and Casio. That's very nice, and I think yeah, we can see the future body art. I think Casio see the body as an art by performance, by movement, but Pim thinking of like art on the body is an art as well. Those two things is an art. Anything can be art, right? Even our conversation is art as well. But I think the strongest point is you can creating the punchline of your idea and then communicate us to understand what is your main subject. And then you can creating something new. The design could be anything, but the way that you told story, the way that you bring the story, the people understand the concept, that's important. Okay, thank you everyone. I think we're running out of the time very much, but very nice work, and see you guys next year. It's been like 2 weeks in advance, but Merry Christmas, belated Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye bye. Good luck with your exam.
Here. Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
you.
See you next
Bye-bye.
year.
Bye.
See you
Bye-bye.
next year. Bye bye.
Nice job.
Thank you.